All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. Sorry for that early morning interruption that we just had. Problem's been solved. Hopefully you guys are not a little bit freaked out. That's how you know you're doing the right thing, right? That 100%. That's how you can tell you're doing the right thing when people want to mess with you. So for those of you that were unable to catch what I had just gone over, first we have the black box over inside of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia that has been recovered. So we're going to get the voice recordings from that plane that crashed this weekend. And we're going to be able to know exactly what those pilots' last words were. And that's pretty dang important because there's a lot of people that kind of want to know what's going on. Yeah. Welcome back, man. Yeah, dude. How about them apples? That's how you know you are in somebody's bad graces, right? 100%. Oh, there it goes again. What do you know? What do you know? Let's see if I can't figure that out. There's a couple things I just do not like about what's happening these days. Automatic screenshots being taken place. You can't be upset about that at all, can you? All right, we're just going to continue on with this, and I suppose I'll have to solve that problem here in just a little bit. All right, so that is taking place all the way down there at the southern. You know what? Let's just get rid of that. That's just silly. All right, let's go ahead and then open this sucker up and let's go all the way down and check this out. Over inside of DC, we have the victims of the plane crash. The family members of the plane crash actually made their way all the way down over outside of Reagan National, got put up on the river outside of the Potomac, and they're still fishing people out of the Potomac.
Brought them out in vans.
Sorry about that.
And they all stood out right on the river at the edge of the runway to sort of take this moment in, to be able to see where this happened before they finally removed the wreckage. And they also put a wreath. You can't see it very well, but it's out there. They put a wreath out there over the spot in the water where the airplane is. Basically.
Oh, God. Yeah. You guys wanted to know why I'm all dressed up this morning, aren't you? Yeah. Well, I'm dressed up because I ended up going on America's Voice this morning with Jake Novak on the early morning show. So I woke up and did a segment with Jake Novak. Also, I just haven't had time to really undress since that happened. I was like, you know what? If I can dress up for Jake Novak, I can definitely dress up for you guys. Now, all of these deportation laws and things like that, all of the executive orders that have been signed have really started to tick off people over in the United States of America, particularly, the Mexican population. I went downtown Dallas last weekend, and I remember seeing last weekend people with flags that were not looking so happy. And here we now have protests that took place. And this guy in particular, dude, you can do this crap in other states. You come to Texas, it doesn't work out so well all of the time. Brian Hudson coming in, gifting out 20 Speak the Truth memberships. Appreciate you, brother. And Stu Howe coming in as well, becoming a true supporter. Awesome. What a bunch of freaking idiots. Okay, so everybody, they're all dumb. Every single one of them is dumb. One, cops, do your job, right? Like, peaceful protest doesn't mean you get to shut down streets. Period. End of discussion. It doesn't, unless you have a permit for it through the city. Then we have this jackwagon that ends up coming over, and instead of the cops doing, and this is the problem right now inside of America. This right here. Instead of the cops doing their job and clearing these people off the street, they're busy messing with this Mustang. Mustang gets pissed off, rams the police bike, which, dude, you're a bike cop. Like, what did you expect? Nobody's going to respect you. You ride a bicycle, and you're not even doing your job clearing the street. So, yeah, the guy's a little bit ticked off. Mustang, I'm sorry. Camaro, excuse me. Not a big car guy. My bad. Camaro. Everybody in the comment section, calm down. Really odd how quick they are to chase off and enforce the law when it's a traffic violation. Well, the guy pretty much just like they're going to hit him with like assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer, guaranteed. But, dude, look at all those cops that are over there. You mean to tell me that those cops couldn't have been trying to get that dang road clear? Like, we're going to block traffic off for people that are breaking the law? Like, is that what we're doing now? Dora the Wholesome coming in says, my condolences for your loss. I thought, look, quite dapper day as a former aircrew member doing ASAR for plane crashes. This is rough on me to see. Yeah, I hear you on that one. I think it's rough for everybody, to be perfectly honest with you. Everything that's taking place over in the U.S. It's a weird place right now. All this stuff that's going on. Then we have this crap going down, and this is going to be the main portion of the show today. This was signing of the executive order.
Mr. President, is there anything China, Canada, and Mexico can do tonight to forestall your implementation of tariffs tomorrow?
No, nothing. Not right now, no.
Not a negotiating tool?
No, it's not. No, it's a pure economic. We have big deficits with, as you know, with all three of them. And in one case, they're sending massive amounts of fentanyl, killing hundreds of thousands of people a year with the fentanyl.
In one case, by the way, he's talking about Canada. Canada. I'll say it again. Canada. He's talking about Canada. And Canada, by the way, has massive tariffs on U.S. imports. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but they're huge tariffs, like 200%. I mean, it's flipping insane.
And in the other two cases, they're making it possible for this poison to get in, number one. And number two, we have big deficits, and it's something we're doing. And we'll possibly very substantially increase it. We're not. We'll see how it is. But it's a lot of money coming to the United States. As you know, we have about...
So we'll stop right there. Yeah. 250% on dairy. That's absolutely atrocious. Somebody in the comment section says 250% on dairy. That's insane. I mean, they are ridiculously high. Justin Trudeau, however, I mean, he seems a little bit confused, and he should be. I'm not surprised he's confused. His popularity in Canada right now is at like an all-time low. Like, I don't think I've seen anybody, like any political party over there, that has like above a 35% approval rating for this guy.
I think Canadians are a little perplexed as to why our closest friends and neighbors are choosing to target us instead of so many other challenging parts of the world.
Okay. So Justin Trudeau is confused why the U.S. chose to target Canada. Well, Justin, allow me to make this a little bit easier for you. I mean, I'm just going to give you just some straight up, I don't know, facts, really, is what we're going to do right now. And we're going to start off with this one as soon as it opens up right here. This is from the Customs and Border Patrol website. I pulled it this morning. Now, what you're looking at, all right, is enforcement actions taken against people that are on the terror watch list. And what you're going to notice is if you look at fiscal year 24, 23, and 25, look at the southwest border, 67, 80, and 52. And then you look at the northern border, 313, 484, and 358. Now, how did that happen? How did it happen? Why do we have that taking place? Holy crap. Brian Hudson coming in again. He says, my baby is 3 months old now and doing great. Dude, that's awesome, man. I can't believe it's been that long. That's insane. Oh my goodness. I remember talking about that. I can't believe it's been 3 months, man. That's nuts. Holy crap. Congrats, my friend. Congrats. That's a good feeling. So yeah, I mean, that within itself. Now, with that being said, and you look back and you go, okay, so why is it that we have so much fentanyl that's coming across the border from Canada and into the United States? How are they getting all of this crap across, and why is it happening? Because Trudeau clearly doesn't know, and he wants to figure it out. Well, it's because of lax immigration policies that they have going on up in Canada right now, and the whole country is pretty pissed off about it, to be perfectly honest. Kind of an engineer says, do you have any thoughts on Trump wanting to denuclearize? I haven't heard that one yet, so I'm going to do some research on it. But yeah, it's a horrible decision with what's taking place over in the Middle East right now, particularly with Iran. All right. So what does his executive order say? So first we'll take a look at this one. I just want to show you guys this. This is the executive order that focuses on the northern border. And when you go up over to, and you just do a simple search of Canada, it's not doing it on this computer. When you do a simple search, Canada, there we go. Typing challenge this morning. 18 times in this executive order, 18 times they end up pointing out Canada. 18 flipping times. They are just a pain in the butt, apparently, according to the Trump administration. So what are the tariffs that we're putting on them? 25% when it comes to goods and services, or I'm sorry, goods, right? So any of the goods, 25%. When it goes down to energy products, 10%. Now, the U.S. does get a significant amount of crude oil from Canada, and even more so, we get a buttload of natural gas from them. Is it going to affect energy prices? I don't have a degree in any of that, but I can tell you right now that, yeah, it's probably going to have it's probably going to have an economic impact. Let's just use common sense. All right. We're throwing massive tariffs on goods that are coming in, and then we're going to do a 10% one on energy. So natural gas, it's a huge bulk supply of what actually comes in the U.S. When it comes down to crude oil, it's actually surprisingly, I think it was a little bit higher. Or I'm sorry, a little bit, it's way lower. It's like 20% or something like that. But natural gas, dude, it's a buttload. It's up there in like the 60% range. D-Rock coming in. He says NDP equals Bernie Sanders, PPC equals isolationists, libs equal Democrats, conservatives equal Republicans, Wild Rose is Albertan insurrectionist, Bloc is French. You know, they're all just pissed off, buddy. I mean, they really are. How do I want to say this? Let's take, for example, what happened to the Canadian dollar versus the US dollar immediately after Trump announced that we were going to be implementing those tariffs. Thank you, Francis. Appreciate you. Look at this. Look at this. Sucker tanked. Now, granted, it goes from 0.69 cents to US dollar to 0.6904. All right. So it dropped. Not a massive drop, but it dropped. It actually went down. It bottomed out at 0.686, and now it's at 0.690 when it ended up coming out. So Canadian dollar takes a slight hit. What's Canada going to do about it? How's Trudeau feel about it? Well,
unfortunately, the actions taken today by the White House split us apart instead of bringing us together. Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Ce soir, j'annonce la réplique du Canada.
Okay, so now he's going to speak French for a little bit, and I don't care to hear French, so I'm just going to pause it. So, all right, so now you're going to implement even more tariffs on the United States of America. So you're upset that we did the same thing that you've been doing to us for a really long time. That's cute.
Our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more.
Yep. Victim mentality alert. Victim mentality alert. God forbid you do your damn job and fix your immigration policy and start busting down on some of these freaking drug lords that you got running around over there. A lot of that fentanyl is being manufactured that Trump's talking about. A lot of it is actually being manufactured inside of Canada. And it's not clearly being done legally. Otherwise, it wouldn't be making its way across the border and down here into the United States, killing people every single day. Literally every single day. Now, Canadians, are a little bit upset, and I can understand why. They hate Trudeau, and the U.S. is taking action because of it. Casper Grant says, I'm a Canadian conservative and like Trump, can't stand Trudeau, and we're mad and hurt. I think of Americans like brothers, had family shed blood in 2 world wars together. It's crazy. Casper, dude, you're not kidding, man. Feel the same way. Like when we look at this and what's going on, it's like the politics of this entire thing are freaking insane, right? Insane. How this is happening, how we have more terrorists caught on the Canadian border than we do on the southern border, beyond my freaking scope of understanding, to be perfectly honest. But when we look at this and we see what's happening inside Canada, you know, Trudeau was telling people, during that speech, don't buy, Republican whiskey and stuff like that. I think saw it come out of British Columbia that they're like straight up banning it or telling them not to freaking purchase it, go somewhere else. And so up on the shelves inside a liquor store, there you see it, buy Canadian instead. Now, interesting enough, you can see a bottle of Maker's Mark sitting up there, and some other ones. And what people are saying is that they're pulling the bourbon from the Republican states off the shelf. So you will not be getting American whiskey inside of Canada if your favorite one comes from a Republican state. Now they are trying to support Democrat states, but not freaking Republican states, which is funny to me. And over the weekend, which I found even better, I totally forgot this existed. Wait for it. One sec here. Over the weekend, as a matter of fact, when all of this crap started coming out, hold on. Wait for it. Oh no, did I lose it? There's no way. I think I might have. Well, crap. That sucks. Freaking no, come on. It's got to be here. I'm a little bit upset if I can't find it. I wanted to show you because it's going to hurt my feelings if I can't show you guys. It's really going to hurt my feelings. Governor Abbott came out and like started trolling on Trudeau this weekend. Abbott started trolling on Trudeau. And he like ends up telling him, be careful because the Texas GDP is greater than that of Canada. And I had to look that up. Dude, he's not lying. Like, depending on what estimate you want to look at over this last year, it's slightly larger here in the state of Texas than Canada's GDP. And Governor Abbott literally like threatened freaking Trudeau. Like, you want to play games, fine. But keep in mind, all right, Canada, keep in mind that one state, Texas, has a larger GDP than you do. So keep playing games and flexing your might. All right. Keep banning Republican whiskey. We don't care. Do whatever you want to do. But one state in the US of A has a higher GDP than you do. Now, this is
Donald
probably
Trump's tariffs
the best
are going...
response. Hold on. Stop. This is probably the best response that I've heard so far over, how do I want to say this, from Canadians about what's going to take place. Like, what is the actual economic impact going to be on Canadians? And if you guys are listening from Canada, I know we have a lot of Canadian listeners. What can you expect? This guy, I think, actually does a really good breakdown. I want you to listen to what he has to say. We're going to pause it because it's a really long video, but listen to this man.
Going to turn Canada into a third world country. Without exaggeration, we will soon be better known as Snow Mexico. So first, what is a tariff? A tariff is an import or export tax, meaning anything that goes into America being sold to an American company or individual will have a 25% federal tax added to it to be paid by the person who is buying the product. Now, again, this doesn't mean Canadians will have to pay 25% more, but what it does is it prices us out of the international market when it comes to America. Americans will just no longer buy anything from Canada. To put it into perspective as to how big of a deal this is, roughly 60% of our international trade is with America, and that
60% of the international trade is in America. I looked it up. True. Very, very true statement. And there's some of you guys that are like, yeah, we know, but I promise you there's a lot of people that don't. CJ Ladder wants to know if I think Trump will act on Greenland. No, I don't.
that accounts for 40% of our overall GDP. So our trade with America is almost half of our entire economic productivity, which is about to just be wiped off of our spreadsheet. And again, to really hammer in how serious this is, Doug Ford has...
Oh, dang. Scuba Greg, dude, you lost me. Holy cow, man. Really? So they're expecting less energy to be getting sent down here to the United States of America, which undoubtedly means that our costs are going to go up in the short term. So now we're already seeing the impact. Scuba Greg's already on here. Love Scuba Greg to death. Sorry that you lost your job, man. But United States, believe it or not, does. And I've talked to people in the oil field about this, and they agree. People in the oil field think this, and you can go find it online. U.S. has enough oil, like crude oil underneath its soil, to supply us damn near indefinitely. If we so choose to drill.
Said that his team has already advised him that he can expect unemployment numbers to go up by 500 to 600,000. Ontario's current unemployment is 600,000, meaning our unemployment is expected to double in the face of these tariffs and will definitely reach double-digit percentage-wise. Now, why are these tariffs being put in place? Donald Trump has cited...
Oh, I love this. So, Donald, or no, who was it that said it? Where'd it go? Who was it? I just saw the comment in there. It says, not crapping on your neighbors is like foreign policy 101. CZ, not crapping on your neighbors and allies is foreign policy 101. I would totally agree with that statement. Not crapping on your neighbors is foreign policy 101. So, why is it that there is such a high tariff on U.S. milk? Why? Why is it that there's such high tariffs across the board when it comes to U.S. imports going into Canada? Why is it that we have so much fentanyl flowing south into the United States of America? Why are more terrorists being caught on the Canadian border than the Mexican border? You are absolutely right, CZ. Foreign policy 101. Don't crap on your neighbor. And what it seems like right now is all of the crap is running out of frickin' Canada and down here into the United States of America.
Our border as the issue. Over the recent years, the number of individuals being apprehended at the Canada-U.S. border that are on terrorist watch lists has skyrocketed. So to put... As a comparison, it's roughly 350 individuals on terrorist watch lists apprehended at the Canada-U.S. border compared to 150 at the Mexico-U.S. border, meaning Canada is now the preferred route into America for terrorist and criminal organizations because of our lax immigration policies.
Really? None of what I said are facts at all? It's amazing that you say that. Would you like to see some more facts about him coming down? Look right here. You want some facts? Here's some facts. There's some facts for you. Foreign terrorists, people on the terror watch list coming into the United States of America. This is straight from CBP, Customs and Border Patrol. These are enforcement actions. Does that hurt your feelings? Does it hurt your feelings that in fiscal year 2024, 358 terrorists got caught on the Canadian-American border coming south? In comparison, 52 on the Mexican border. Now, that is straight from the Customs and Border Patrol. So go ahead. Tell me nothing I'm saying is true and continue to be offended and get butthurt while I tell you that Canada's crap is literally trickling into America. Go ahead. Keep telling me, man.
For instance, Trudeau has turned Canada into an open border experiment over the last few years. Even just today, the Globe and Mail reported that 50,000 international students have not been showing up for class, meaning we have people that just, come here due from international student status and buy their way into Canada, essentially, and then just disappear once they're here. Even India has launched an investigation into the amount of Indians that come here with programs like our international student program and then immediately illegally cross into America. Also, our asylum program is a massive issue. People come here. They actually, here's a rock solid case: is the Ahmed Al-Didi case, who was granted Canadian citizenship after, despite being on video dismembering a victim for ISIS. He came here as an asylum seeker and did the whole year too long process of that, and then got granted Canadian citizenship. So again, this isn't the vast majority of them that are doing this, but the small number of them that are just slipping through the cracks because Canada.
We hear that? Asylum seekers. And what's the U.S. currently cutting down on? People that are doing that. All of these ICE raids, and I'll just pull up some of these videos of ICE raids that are taking place here in the United States in a minute. Big ones taking place down in Florida. It's insane. Like, all of these people that are coming over here, they use the laws in the United States, the same thing that they do over in Canada. The difference is that Americans got fed up with that crap. And it's my understanding that a vote might take place no later than August to get rid of Trudeau. Great. Well, until then, we still have to deal with Canada's crap. That's it. Miguel Berrigan comes in gifting out 10 Speak the Truth memberships. Appreciate you.
Canada is run by absolute imbeciles. So again, this is going to absolutely decimate Canada's economy. Every single province and territory in Canada is a larger trading partner with America than any other province. So each independent province trades with America more than anyone else in Canada. This is not minor at all. And what is our current state of governance? Well, we've got a government that is holding Canada hostage to prorogation. So in order to avoid a no confidence vote, there is no practical reason for this as far as needing to be done, other than just to try to retain power for the Liberal Party so that they can shoehorn Mark Carney in as Justin Trudeau.
And then they're getting some little bit of politics here going on up in Canada. But you can understand when we're talking about unemployment rates doubling, and it's already hit our chat. Scuba Greg, awesome supporter of the Speak the Truth channel, awesome human being. We're not enemies with the people inside Canada. We're upset with the freaking policies of the Canadian government. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. And so when you say Foreign Policy 101, don't crap on your neighbor, this is what I'm talking, like, apply that to Canada. Foreign Policy 101, don't crap on your neighbor. Casper Grant coming in, gifting out 5, says, no, Matt, everything you're saying is 100% true. Again, I'm Canadian. Our immigration is a joke. And we've been yelling at Trudeau for years about it. Matt Borgeson coming in. He says, we can't cry about the price of groceries from the previous administration, yet not cry when we suffer even more from tariffs that don't need to happen. That's hypocrisy and American idiocracy. Dude, you're 100% correct. It's a good thing, though. It is a good thing that we have this company currently, new Department of the U.S. government, otherwise known as Doge. Have you heard of it? I've heard of it. Have you seen what Doge has been up to lately? Let's just pause for a second in what we're talking about, and let's talk about Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. They make some really good announcements, and they let you know exactly where our taxpayer money has been going. You ready for this? Let's get this one up on the board. This is $1 billion that just got cut. $1 billion. US. $1 billion. Look at that. You know what all of this garbage is for? DEI policies. DE&I. That's it. $1 billion in DE&I has been cut. That is an amazing thing. That is so much freaking money. It's insane. Absolutely insane. 3 a.m. Forge says, as a Canadian, we've been dealing with the Trudeau's crap for much longer than Americans. 100%. 100% you have. We're just holding Trudeau accountable. So hopefully we're doing you guys a favor by getting rid of them and forcing it to happen. D&I, $1 billion that ended up getting cut. They announced yesterday, in the past 6 days, yesterday. In the past 6 days, the number of lease terminations of underutilized buildings has increased from 3 to 22, with savings increased from 1.6 million to 44.6 million. Dude, the amount of crap that Doge is cutting down on to save money is absolutely insane. DE and I contracts totaling over $1 billion, following up on the $45 million in DEI scholarships in Burma that ended up getting canceled. DEI scholarships in flippin' Burma. Dude, if you'd see what our government was spending money on, when you go over and you look at Doge and you see how much crap that they have been cutting, it's absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous what we've been spending money on. Dude, I saw one for spinning cats in circles. No kidding. It was like over 100K. Then went to a study for like taking cats and getting them dizzy to study the effects of some freaking vaccine or something. It's just ridiculous. Newsflash, the cats got dizzy. Like, how? How is this stuff even like, how did this ever get approved? Is what I want to know. It's freaking nuts. So yeah, you know what? We might be complaining about prices under the Biden administration, but guess what? They are going to get cut out. Now, we didn't stop at just Canada. We also took aims in other places as well, particularly People's Republic of China. Now, China, we ended up just putting a 10% tariff on across the board. There's no stipulation that comes to energy or anything like that, just 10% flat across the board. Mike Hoochies. We get so much drug traffic at the border here in Eastern Washington because it's easy to come through. Massive bus, it seems, monthly. Well, there you go. Imagine that. So Canadian border has issues. Now, I have seen Canadian Border Patrol doing a decent job of people that are coming down here into the United States. But when we start talking about apprehensions like this, we start talking about these numbers being astronomically higher percentage-wise of terrorists that are being caught at the border, and then we start talking about the drugs and everything else that are coming through. Well, there's a reason for it. There's a reason all of that's coming through, and it's because the policies are lax and people aren't taking care of business. And so that business is getting taken care of. I don't know how else to say that. Something else that's really interesting. You know what else? We just saved more money on $3 million a year. $3 million a year for U.S. Navy vessels that have been traveling through the Panama Canal. I want you to think about this. The Panama Canal. U.S. builds this dang thing, and then we get charged how much was it? What did I say? $3 million a year for Navy vessels to go through? Insane. Absolutely insane. Well, Marco Rubio went down there and he ended up getting the job done. Imagine that. So now we're not paying for our Navy vessels to go through the Panama Canal anymore. It's done. No more. $3 million. Every single person that balances their freaking finances on a monthly basis in the United States of America knows it's the little things that add up. It is the random purchases that you make that actually put your butt in the freaking hole and make a difference between you living a good, comfortable life or your life just sucking. And again, what we've noticed is that, hey, we are spending a lot of stupid money in a lot of stupid places, and they fly under the radar dollar figure wise because we're spending billions upon billions of dollars approving, bills all the time. Billions of dollars get pumped out. And every one of those little bills has stupid little earmarks that are kind of cut into it for spinning cats in freaking circles, or their Navy's got to pay to go through freaking Panama, or we've got a bunch of buildings that we're not using. Get rid of it. Cut it. There's no point. Brian says, love the channel and what you do. And thank you for your service and support. No, thank you, man. Greatly appreciate you. No, it's the true supporters. You guys make a huge difference for everything it is that I do. What I want to do is I want to go over to Discord. I want to take some questions from you guys over at Discord. So if you guys want to come up and speak about how you see any of this stuff going, come up over inside Discord. I want to have a chit chat with you, and I want to talk to you guys about this. I'm going to have another video that's going to be coming out this afternoon. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Now we're up. All right. So we're moving again up over in the Discord. Now I'm going to have you guys come up on in. Raise your hand, come up on the stage. If you're Canadian, I do want to hear from you. I want to hear what you have to say about Trudeau. I want to hear what you have to say about, these tariffs and how it's impacted your guys' society. I really do want to hear from people inside Canada. So raise your hand and get up on here. If you're not from Canada and you still have an opinion, you want to bring it up, by all means, jump up in the chat, raise your hand, come up in here, and we'll have a discussion about what it is. I want to make sure that you guys can see me so that I'm nice and pretty for you. Let me make sure that I've got the right thing on so that you guys can see everything that, you know, people, folks over on YouTube or folks over on Twitter are watching right now. But please come in the chat. I want to hear from you. And in the meantime, while we're waiting on everybody to get up in here and have these discussions, I also want to go over some of the stuff that our government is currently doing. But before we do that, I want to bring you guys down to southern Lebanon. I told you guys the other day that peace deal that's taking place over inside southern Lebanon is not going to last very much longer. Here is the IDF taking care of more terror tunnels. Watch this. Yeah, it's sexy, isn't it? I love the fact that they put up a drone for this too. Boosh. Nothing makes me happier. Bye, terrorists. Bye. Bye. You're gone. You're gone. All right. Who we have? Scuba Greg. Good to hear from you, man. I'm actually really excited to speak to you, Scuba. Let's get you up in here. Go ahead and unmute yourself, friend. Scuba Greg, if you could unmute yourself and come up to the stage, that'd be great.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I made it work, Matty. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. Tell me about life. What's happening up in Canada?
Doing well. Well, I'm on my last day on site here, and we're getting skidded out of here. Everything's shutting down. And, yeah, I don't really know what to say, man. I guess, in all honesty, I'm pretty pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep it PG. And it takes a lot for me to get pissed off. But, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, like, I mean, I know you guys probably see it very differently and listening to some of the things we say. We don't always agree on things. But, man, we're supposed to be America's #1 fucking ally, partner, whatever. We share the longest border in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you typically, as U.S. does, so does Canada. We fucking back fucking U.S. and just about everything. Everything they do, we always back. You know, fuck Border Patrol last, what was
Yep. Sounds like I lost you. Hold on. You still there, bud? Greg?
go. But the way that it's going about, man, he's just driving people to China. Like, his biggest concern is he's worried about China, and yet he's pissing everyone off to the point where nobody's going to want to work with the States anymore. Like, I'm fucking livid. Everybody up here thinks I'm joking, but I say we need to open a port of fucking Xinjiang Ping Pang off the coast of Vancouver. Let the Chinese have some land here, because the only thing Trump's going to hate is letting the Chinese have a foothold in North America. But, like, who are we supposed to work with, man? We just signed a free trade agreement, with Trump last time he was in office.
Right.
And he ripped it up within 2 weeks of being back in here again. Like, how are we supposed to do anything when we can't even trust a single thing coming out of his mouth? Because he just signed it with us and ripped it back up again. Like,
so when was Trump last in office?
We talk about,
I mean, how much stuff has changed though, man?
Like, on the
How much stuff has changed though?
Oh no. Don't know, but like we talked. You mentioned like tariffs on milk. Like, our population is 1/100th of what you guys are. Like,
Right.
we have to protect ourselves in some like milk. Like, honestly, who gives a fuck about milk? To the United States, it's 0.0000001% of GDP. Up here in Canada, it's fucking crippling if we lose it. So, like, of course we got to protect it. Like, our population is minuscule compared to you guys. If Donald Trump farts, fucking Canada feels an earthquake. Like, it's I don't know what to do. Like, I thought we were supposed to be partners. We're North America, you know, rah, 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 let's go North America. We're fucking awesome. Well, all of a sudden, I don't feel like we're North America anymore. It's like, who the fuck else are we going to work with? China? All right, well, let's go talk to China. Let's give them a port. Maybe they'll fucking help us out. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm worked up right now, and this is me on, like, this is pretty mellow when I'm worked up. But
Oh,
like,
dude, you lost your job for crying out loud. What did they tell you about that? Were they just like,
I'm doing
hey,
the garbage run right now.
what did they tell you? Were they just like, hey, tariffs,
Shut down.
can't afford it? The whole place is shut down.
Oh, we all seen it coming. We all seen it coming. Yeah, I'm doing a drive right now to the garbage dump because I'm emptying out our tool crib. It's fucking minus 41 degrees out. Like, wind chill is plus 50. Like, shouldn't even be out in this shit. And yet here we are packing our shit up because, well, 10% is going to shut down this project. And, like, my company is not going to have any more work for me right now. So, like, I don't know what to do. And it sucks because I just lost my scuba job, like, fucking last year. I literally just came back from 8 weeks of surgery. Got 4 weeks in me, and I just lost my job again. And it's like,
dude.
I just don't understand how we're supposed to even remotely work with the United States right now. Like, it's impossible. Trump, I understand that Trump is voted in by the American people to do right for America, as he should be. But man, you can't fuck over the rest of the world and not expect people to be like, fuck America by the end of it. And I'm sorry, like, I don't truly believe that, like, but I just don't really see like what else people are expecting to happen. Like, man, give it another year and nobody's going to want to be working with America whatsoever. And like the Colombians who are their biggest ally in Central and South America, they're going to go to the Chinese. Fucking all these countries are going to go to the Chinese because America's yanking their funding out of them. Well, Trump's just done the exact opposite. He's driven everyone to them. Like, so, I just don't know what to do, and I don't know what to say.
Do you think maybe Canada should cancel their tariffs on U.S. goods and then we do the same?
I mean, what's the whole reason why Trump's going after Canada? Do we even know?
Yeah.
I know some people say it's the fentanyl, but really it's not the fentanyl.
Well, that's
coming through the border.
So it is.
Trump's swinging a big dick, and he's using Canada as an example.
So when we look at it and we go over, like, particularly what he's complaining about with Canada, fentanyl is a huge one, right? Drugs are a huge one, but so is like the terrorists that are coming across the border.
That's the southern border. I live on the Canadian border. I live in Madawaska, Maine, and I'm right here on the Canadian border, and we rarely have fentanyl up here like that. And
well, it depends.
I know for a fact that a lot of Canadians come over to our side and they buy a lot of dairy product, like turkeys and stuff like that, because it's more expensive over in Canada. So that's what I don't get. Like, why is Trump going after Canada? It can't be because of the fentanyl and all that. It's got to be something else.
Primarily because of
manufacturing or something.
It's not primarily because of fentanyl. Right? Like, fentanyl is a huge reason for it. All right. So, but not primarily because of fentanyl. The fentanyl that is coming across from Mexico, obviously we're getting a hell of a lot more from Mexico, but we're also getting a hell of a lot from Canada. And outlined right in the executive order that they ended up dropping, they end up saying, one, that yes, we get more fentanyl from Mexico, but then they also say that we end up getting enough fentanyl crossing into the U.S. to kill almost 10 million Americans every year, 9.5 million.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of dope, man.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot, and nobody needs that shit here in America.
Right.
I just think they're picking on the wrong target, man.
Well, we also went after China and Mexico. We also went after China and Mexico, but we can't ignore. We can't ignore those statistics, though, that we end up having more terrorists that are crossing the border from Canada than we do from Mexico. That's insane.
Yeah, Canada's upped their border patrol budget by $1 billion, which keep in mind that my country has less population than California, so it's a lot of fucking money for us. Like, it's a lot. We're doing what we can. And again, to go back to your why should Canada have tariffs? Because your mega farms will outperform ours by 10,000%. Now, I'm pulling numbers out of my ass here, but all of these mega farms and these corporations in America are so fucking powerful that we can't compete against them. So we have to protect them, because if we don't protect ours, they're not going to exist, because the American businesses will just roll right over us. Now we've got no industry. We're 100% reliant on America. And look what happens when we're 100% reliant on America.
Bro, it's
They
the
roll
same
over
mistake
us.
that the EU
Like,
made.
all this talk. Yeah, and all this talk about Canada becoming the 51st state, it fucking terrifies me, man.
That's not
because
gonna happen.
I don't know if Trump is real or not.
No, that's not going to
Well,
happen.
I know, but also it's not going to happen. I don't think it is going to happen. But if we get economically crushed to the point where we're in poverty, is it going to happen? I don't know. Maybe it will. There's enough people up here that actually are pro-American, especially in the oil patch where I am, that think it's a great idea. It fucking terrifies me. And like, I'm a guy that I can't even kill a bug. Like, I protect bugs. And like, if you wanted to become America, I'm sorry, but I would probably fight over that. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm not bashing your country or anything, man. Like, I love you guys down there. I absolutely love you guys down there. But I don't want to be you guys. I want to be myself up here.
Yeah,
and
trust me, no Americans want to open the door up and absorb Canada. I mean, I think maybe okay. So ridiculous people think that that's a good idea, along with absorbing Greenland's a good idea. Truth is, America's broke as well. Period. And anybody that doesn't think we are is ludicrous. Like, America's broke. The average American like family can't afford to buy a home. Right? Like, we're broke. The average American doesn't even have $1,000 in savings. We're broke. The average American is hurting pretty damn bad right now. So we're just as broke, man. It might not seem like it, but we are. And I think the reason that it doesn't seem like it to an extent, which is why we're now starting to slowly catch up, is everybody in the USA decided to be a good, like, they have to, what we call like keeping up with the Joneses. Like, better have that brand new iPhone, better have that new freaking car, better have this, better have that. And they just, it's our standard of living is high, but our ability to pay for that standard of living doesn't exist. And when we're sending out money to all of these different countries, it's insane. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time Canada actually paid their proper percentage of their GDP into NATO?
Yeah, no, Maddie, I'm not going to argue against that. You are 100% correct on that, and I have nothing to say against that because you are right on that.
Right.
I got one more thing.
And like, healthcare in Canada sucks. It's in the freaking tank.
I got one thing.
Maddie, let me just hold on, Maddie. My lungs blew up. I had an MRI, a CT scan within 2 hours. I was in surgery within 3 days of me saying yes to being surgery. I spent 5 days in the hospital in a fucking, I'm sorry, I'm riled up, so I'm not thinking too straight, but in the high intensity ward. And it cost me nothing, and I had it done on the spot instantly. Like, okay, our healthcare has its problems, but if something goes wrong, you're in and fixed on the spot, and it cost me nothing. So, like, I don't agree with people when they say our healthcare in the tank.
How do you explain this? How do you explain this then? January 15th, we're seeing a Hunger Games across Ontario. Hundreds in this town line up for a chance at a family doctor. Like, how do you say that's great when you have, it was up to 1,000 people is what the estimate was at this one place lining up just to get a family doctor in the middle of this damn blizzard.
Yeah. Okay. I'm literally the distance from California to New York away from Ontario. I'm on the exact same side. I can't speak to what's going on in Ontario. Now, I know that in my little town, we do have, it's hard to get doctors. It's hard to get doctors. But all you have to do is walk into the emergency room. It's that easy. If you need to see a doctor, you don't have to go to a doctor. You just have to walk into the hospital and they will take you on the spot.
Right, into an emergency room. But like preventative maintenance is way more important than going into it. Like, you can prevent a lot of crap from ever happening in an emergency room if stuff like, hundreds lining up outside of a like
doctors.
You got to have a doctor.
I agree. I'm just saying that I just went through a massive medical ordeal, and I was in and out on the spot without anyone even batting an eyelash, and it cost me nothing. And if I was in the States, I bet you it would have cost me $200,000.
Okay.
right?
I have no idea. It
So,
would
like,
depend on a lot of different factors.
It would, and I mean, I'm sorry, Maddie. I love you, buddy. I'm a little riled up, but because I obviously am not in the best position right now.
I'll tell you, if I go in for major surgery, guess how much it costs me?
Nothing.
$0. I earned
I'm
that.
guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it cost me $0. Like I earned that. You know what I mean? I'm kind of curious if I hear from. I kind of want to hear from 3 a.m. Forge. Don't go anywhere, man, because yeah, you're clearly riled up, and you know,
Maddie, I am gonna have to
mad
go
love
anywhere.
for
I'm
you.
literally.
I want to ask Scuba Center.
I know. You too, buddy. I am gonna have to go. I'm pulled over in the middle of a giant blizzard snowstorm here, and it's minus 40, and I gotta go and try and earn a place so that maybe they might call me back if something happens. But you know how it goes.
Yeah. Well, thanks for jumping in, man. Always appreciate you. Sorry about all this shit.
Maddie, you're awesome, buddy. And the Banana Gang, you guys are all great. Sorry if I'm a little pissed off Canadian, but I love you guys.
I get it.
You're good, bub.
Cheers. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Boys and girls.
All right, brother.
That's funny.
Man.
So, I gotta hit on the opposite side of that because I am from Ontario.
Okay.
And our wait time in an emergency room is anywhere between 12 to 14 hours, typically speaking.
What?
And that can be anything. But yeah, that's our average wait time.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing in Portugal. I actually had this conversation with my mom yesterday. I asked her, what would you prefer? Having our system, like the one that we have in Portugal, which you have to wait like between 6 and 12 hours to see a doctor, even sometimes when it's critical, or you have to pay like $5,000, or $5,000, but you have to you can see a doctor right away. You know what I mean? And she said that right away. She would prefer to just pay it, and yeah.
Well, right. Like I mean, if you need healthcare, you need healthcare. You don't want to wait 12 hours for healthcare. Plus, that's like the worst spot. Like, I don't think anybody looks forward to sitting in an ER waiting to get seen by a doctor. I don't care what country you're in. That's the worst place.
There is this massive thought that healthcare is free here in Canada. It's not free by any means. We pay for it with our taxes, which are damn near double what you guys pay in the US. And then we still have to, like, both my daughters have allergies. The EpiPens for them, just the EpiPens, are $160 a piece. Wow. I have to provide one to my school or to their schools for each daughter. I have to have one at home, and I typically have to have a spare one kicking around just in case.
Right.
So when you do the math on that, how free is our actual health care? I don't know. What's it cost for an EpiPen in the US?
I'm not sure. I've never had to grab one. I assume it depends on your insurance and everything else.
It cost me $175 for an EpiPen.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Insurance?
Main care.
Okay.
That's with disability and all that.
Wow, dude.
Yep. It's getting rough, but they're helping me with a program, so it's a lot cheaper on it because I just got on disability. I had a bad back injury, and yeah, life.
That's nuts. That's absolutely insane, man. Wow. Yeah, I know, depending on the medication, because I can only count on the VA for so much. Other than that'll go through different insurance. But it's insane what some of the cost of medications and stuff like that are. One of the medications for my stepkids, just one, and it was not available in like generic form, which is the exact same, right? Like it's literally the same ingredients that end up going into these things. But the generic brand was still like well over $200 something for a 30-day supply with good insurance coming through. Like without insurance, I have no idea what that would have costed. But for a 30-day supply of medication, that's insane. right?
Yeah, that is.
Nothing costs that much. When they came out with the cure for hepatitis C, right? My mom had hepatitis C for years. And towards the end stage of her life, they finally came out with the cure to where if they catch it soon enough and you got to take, I think the minimum is like 1 pill a day for 90 days. And they were charging $1,000 per pill. $1,000 per pill. Once a day.
And you got yourself what the healthcare is really there for.
Nothing costs that much to make. Like, that is a markup beyond all belief. Like,
that's why I pray RFK comes in and takes care of that craziness, because drug prices in America, Canada, like it's unreal.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean that needs fixed. Like that's a regulatory issue, in my opinion. You know, and I think insurance companies are partial to blame versus everything else. I mean, I shouldn't be able to. Let's put it this way: if I go to the pharmacy and I go to pick up my prescription, let's say I have doctors send my prescription over to the pharmacy, and I go to use TRICARE, if they even accept it, it's still a much higher freaking payment than if I just use, like, what is it, GoodRx at the pharmacy, like, and then all of a sudden it's cheaper than my insurance cost. It's insane. Like, there's something needs to be done. So that's all I got to say about that, dude. All right. Who else? Who's got something else they want to say about this? Canada, US. Let's get back on topic. And then I've got about 5 minutes left, and I gotta roll out. I've got some business I have to take care of today.
Well, shit, if anybody's in here from Canada, I want to know why the hell they charge me transfer fees, like 6 of them from different companies to get to here in America. Because part of Maine gets our electricity from Canada up this way in the north. And there's like transfer fees. There's like 6 of them. And they're all like $20 a piece.
Wow.
Canada produces a lot of power for the US.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know the actual statistics on it, but somewhere around 60 to 80% of our power that we produce actually gets exported.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. Like natural gas, Canada provides a buttload of natural gas. It's like 60% of the US natural gas that's like consumed comes through Canada. Oil, I think, is somewhere around like 20 to 20% range, 20% range, like raw crude oil. But it's a lot. Like, we get a lot from Canada.
Yeah, I was just talking about like regular electric, like for your lights in your house.
Sure.
That's crazy. You're looking at like $200 for a 3-bedroom household a month just to run it in the wintertime.
What?
See, a lot of that is because of our green carbon or our green energy bills that we've come out with as well too. So we spent billions and billions of dollars putting up solar farms and everything like that. And they are less efficient than, say, a nuclear power plant that is, in all hindsight, just as green energy because our solar farms only last for 20 years and then we have to rip them down. And those solar panels that we put up, they can't just go to a regular dump or there's chemicals inside of those that are not supposed to be released into the atmosphere. So
batteries.
Well, and that's just something that I think needs to change in general. Like this whole move towards green energy. I'm sorry, we're not there yet. Like it's cool. We can produce technology with it, but we're just not there at the numbers that we need. So let's go ahead and, like you said, nuclear power plants. Why not?
100%.
And do it correctly. And last time I heard the statistics on it, how long it takes inside of the United States to actually get through the red tape to get a nuclear plant approved to be built is like 20 years just to get the red tape out of the way and get approved to do it. 20 years on average. That's disgusting. Like it shouldn't take that. And the regulations on it, like you're talking cheaper energy, less pollution. And yeah, you can take that crap and you could bury it right back in the earth where it came from. It'll be fine.
And it's long lasting.
Right. And the thoughts and people that think that like nuclear plants are somehow polluting, our rivers, streams, and things like that really need to look at how nuclear plants operate. They're on a closed loop system, just like a coal fire power plant, and it's not leaking anything out into the freaking environment. It's not like what you end up seeing that's coming out those freaking stacks on the nuclear plants is steam. You're seeing steam come out the top, not nuclear waste, not anything else, steam. Straight steam. It's ridiculous.
We dump a lot more emissions into the air with our mining operations that we have and everything like that than we would ever do with our with a nuclear power plant. And there's one a couple hours away from me. You never hear anything about it. There's never been an accident there. There's never been anything like that. Go on.
Well, look at the amount. So if we want to start talking about like having an actual like impact on the environment when it comes to carbon going into the atmosphere and all the other crap, look at China. Like we could look at China, look at Africa, the United States, Canada, North America, whatever, however you want to throw it out there. We can regulate ourselves into the freaking ground. You know what I mean? And have very little impact on the environment whatsoever. Same thing with our trash regulation and everything else, like that massive trash island floating off in the Pacific. There's several trash islands floating all around. And we look at it and we try to blame ourselves and we try to regulate ourselves. Okay, well, we can't use plastic straws. We have to use cardboard ones. We can't use this. We have to use that. And the reality is that all of your trash is making its damn way into the dump 99.999% of the time, right? Only if you're a piece of crap and you're throwing it in a river, lake, or stream is it going to start ending up like downstream. And for the most part, it's making its way into the freaking ground where it belongs. And so this concept that North America is polluting and going to cause this huge economical impact by shifting our freaking policy, while China, Africa, Asia, none of them do the same, is ludicrous. It's just like, dude, it's like, I would compare it to like the Middle East and trying to solve the problems in the Middle East. Like you can go squash little terror group after little terror group over in the Middle East, but you're not going to do anything unless you put Iran in check. Because until Iran gets put in check, it's going to happen. You know, it's like that is the problem. Period. So yeah, let's build some damn nuclear power plants so that we can, I don't know, maybe have some cheaper energy and people can live a little bit more comfortable.
Talk as well or touch as well on, I seen a lot of people in the chat earlier talking about how Canada can just export our natural resources to China, for example.
No.
We have brought countless amount of Chinese into Canada. In fact, even the Chinese military, we've brought some of them in to do special training operations right at some of our bases. There's a base in Peterborough, Ontario that we brought a bunch into to do special training operations. And they had to kick them out because they were stealing confidential information from us, basically.
Right. Well, welcome to the CCP, buddy. Right? Like,
imagine that from the Chinese.
No way.
Oh, imagine that. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, big surprise there, man. Big surprise. Oh my goodness. Look at the time. Gentlemen, I got to go. I'm really sorry. I'm enjoying this conversation. I do have to run. I will be back tonight and I'll do my best to make sure that video gets kicked out this afternoon for y'all. Apologize for that. Greatly apologize. I do have business I have to take care of though. And I'm already behind the power curve right now. So I'm going to jump on out of here, but thank you guys. Seriously.
Well, have a good one. Thank you, man, for everything you do.
No, thank you guys. Doing our best to keep on the up and up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am closing out the show for the morning. I will be back, like I said, this evening, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, if you guys want to watch that show. Until